here. I'm trying to decide if I should turn that off. Oops. I don't know. Do you ever just like, especially in this quarantine era, like maybe if you're alone or if like your partner is still working? I'm shaking. I'm so irritated right now. Like, so just like emotional. Like, I'm shaking. I feel like I could cry. I feel like if I start talking, I'm gonna cry. Because I'm so upset right now. Oh my gosh. I'm so frustrated. As a parent, I'm raising 4 kids right now. My ex-husband is in prison. His parents have been shitty to me since he went to prison. Well, yeah, I mean, they were really neglectful. They did not help me. They took me out to dinner for my 21st birthday, and then after that, they didn't really do anything. They were like, pretty sure, they were just sure of themselves that I had messed around with his best friend because I went out with his best friend on my 21st birthday. And I didn't. But his best friend took me out because I had no friends. Their son had just took a huge dump in my life. And I had a child and no friends. So their son's best friend took me out and was like, I'm going to make sure that you can have fun, but that you make it home okay. And he did. And we didn't do anything. Okay? So, within a few days of that, I did actually have relations with my ex-boyfriend who, yeah, like I started dating somebody soon after their son went to prison, but not that soon. And it was basically because I was so alone and I was so pissed at their son for what he did. Which I feel like that's why I put the trigger warning, because I don't know if I'm going to I'm trying not to just be careless with that information, but it's just not to be careless, but their son abused my little sister. And I don't know how to be like, yeah, I'm explaining how I felt. Like, I was pissed that my husband went to prison for trying to cheat on me with my little sister, who was 13 at the time, who was not interested, by the way. So we'll just put that out there. He literally is just a scumbag. And I'm just really just emotional because they just called me and had the audacity to my son is grounded for spray painting my garage. He's messing his room up, okay? He's like taking things apart. He keeps sneaking out of his room. He keeps coming out, okay? It's stressing me out. It's making me crazy. I'm like, you're grounded. You need to sit in your room and read a book. You need to write. You need to journal. You need to do things that are good for you. And my son just keeps coming out. And I'm like, dude, and he's not staying. Okay, so what his grandparents, they're like, I told him he was grounded for a month. I'm really lenient. I let him come out for recess every day. I let him come out for lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner, recess. I let him earn time out. Like, I just was like, for the most part, you're supposed to be in your room right now because you're supposed to be grounded. But I have been kind of lenient and like letting him out. There hasn't been an entire day he's been sat in his room. So when they said this, mind you, like all of that I know, but they're not even asking. They don't care. They just want to basically make me feel, I feel like they just want to make me feel like a failure every chance they get. So they literally wanted to come sit in my son's room with him today. They asked me, John asked me if I could come sit, if he could come sit in Jeremiah's room so they could see what his life is like.
It's not what my life is like.
Right. You don't sit in your room. Now you hear me, so I gotta be quiet. But you don't hear, you don't sit in your room? What do you do, Jeremiah? What's your life like?
Out of my room.
Doing what?
Playing.
Playing what?
Minecraft.
Minecraft. Doing what? Playing with your sisters, playing with your dogs. We've got 5 dogs. He's always doing something, okay? But they think that his life is so terrible. And I'm going to tell you right now, I had a realization recently. A very big realization. That my mother loves me so, so much. And that my mother is basically a saint. She's a saint. She's my hero. She's an amazing woman. And my father tried to ruin that relationship because I didn't know my father until I was in 3rd grade. And my mom was going through a divorce. My father came back into my life. She basically called him and was like, I need help because I'm going through a divorce. I think I need somebody to take Lauren for a minute. So I had to go live with my dad. I didn't know him. I hated my mother for this. I did not understand it at the time, that she was trying to preserve a life for me, but she was doing the best she could. And I always felt really messed up by the situation. I was allowed to feel that way because I was a child, but as a grown-up, I've reevaluated. And what I've decided is my mom didn't throw me away. You know, my dad was telling me all kinds of things that he shouldn't have been telling me about my mom, and just all kinds of things like that. He told me that she tried to get an abortion with me. My dad told me that my mom, like all kinds of things that no father should ever tell their child. Like, even if it is true, first of all, it's her body. What my mother does with her body is her choice. What she may or may not have wanted to do with her body was her choice. She was a scared teenager. Second of all, she didn't. Third of all, she raised me. She kept me. She loved me. I don't give a shit what she thought about doing. I want to be real honest. I'm a full-ass Bible-beating Christian. I'm a Bible thumper. I read my Bible like shamelessly. And you know what? I'm proud of it. And I even considered with my youngest doing that. So you know what? When you're scared and you're in a situation, a lot of things go through your head. And as a woman, you have that right. And you know what? I don't agree with it. I will tell you right now, I don't agree with it. I didn't do it because my heart would not allow me to go through with it. But any woman that has, I do not shame you. Your body is your body. It may hurt my heart, but that's not my kid. That's not my would have been kid. That's not my would have been 18 years with that kid. I don't know. It's not my choice. And it's also, as a Christian, I'm 100% positive that if I judge you, I am bringing judgment on myself because I am a filthy, dirty sinner with all my sins. If you add them all up, there ain't no. So who am I? I'm not trying to judge anybody. Okay, that's my point. Everybody gets to make their choice. So for my dad to tell me as a 3rd grade little girl that my mom wanted to kill me, what do you think that did to me? It messed me up. Okay, I have bad issues. But I'm working through those issues. And I'm not trying to have my son I'm not trying to point a knife at you. It's not even a sharp knife. But I'm not trying to have my son have similar issues, thinking that his mother doesn't love him because I fail him. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I fail my son all the time. All the time. Bet money. I'm not perfect. I got 4 kids. I yell, I cuss, I lose my temper. Oh my God, I'm a parent. I'm human. I'm not perfect. I don't ever say I'm perfect. I'm just trying to make good kids. You know, I'm just trying to they have good kids. I already made good kids. I'm just trying to help them be great little people. You know, they go out in the world and do something cool, you know, or change it, or I don't know. Like, I have no idea what my kids are going to do. I don't want to put too much pressure on them. But then again, I don't want to take too much pressure off. I just let them kind of do what they do. And I just support them. And I tell them, as long as you work hard, as long as you're not hurting anybody, that's all I care about. Don't be lazy. Okay? That's not cool. Don't be lazy. Don't be destructive. Don't be hurtful to other people. As long as you're not doing those things, I don't care what you do. I'm going to be proud of you. I told my son a long time ago, because he saw a guy dressed as a girl that was like, I don't know what they were, but it was a dude that was doing makeup, and I don't know if it was a trans person, I don't know if it was a queen, I don't know what it was, but it was just a guy wearing makeup. And I told my son, I was like, you want to wear makeup? And he was like, no. And I was like, you can, like, I don't care, like, just so you know, like, I was like, just so you know, there's nothing you could ever do that would change the way I see you. I was like, you can do whatever you want to do. So I'm very, very supportive of my kids. And to me, I feel like I'm doing a good job because I'm being supportive of my kids. And I love my kids. And I tell my kids, if you want to sing, if you want to dance, if you want to, whatever you want to do, as long as it's not hurting yourself or hurting others, I'm down. I'm supportive. As long as you're not being lazy, as long as you've got a plan and you're trying to actually do it, you know? Don't just talk about it. You know, if you want to do something, don't just talk about doing it. Do it. You know, I want to see some action there. So that's how I am as a parent, and I feel like I'm a very good mother. And that's taken a long time. I could not say that a year ago. Okay? I could not tell anybody a year ago that I thought I was a good mother, because I didn't think I was a good mother. And I'm going to tell you why. Because since my very first kid, I've had my ex's parents telling me and telling everybody that they know that they think I'm a horrible mother and that they feel bad for my son because of my mental issues, because a little bit unstable doesn't change the fact that I love him, doesn't change the fact that I don't ever just go in and like, I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, have I ever just come in and hit you for any reason? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, that's what abuse is. It's not like you hit your sister and now I'm going to spank you because I told you there are consequences. And if you go beat a woman out in public someday, you're going to go to jail. Well, I don't have time. We are not doing all the jail thing. I don't have time for that. But here's what it does happen. You do have a consequence. If you hit a girl, you have a consequence. There are certain things that there are consequences for, and that's it. My kids don't get, I don't even hit them in the face. Like, I got popped, man. If I talked back to my mom, I love her to death, and I respect this. I am thankful that she did this. I was not one of those girls that talked to her mom, because my mom would pop. She would have been like, hey, what'd you say to me? You know, like, my mom was not playing those games. I don't pop my kids in the face, because my kids, I've tried it a few times and it didn't work. So I just was like, this isn't for me. This isn't for us. This is not our thing. So we don't do that. But I don't pop them in the mouth. I don't do all that. But you know, they'll get spanked if they need a spanking. I have no fear to spank them. They know that, and everybody that knows me knows that. But everybody that knows me also knows how much I love my kids, except for apparently the Arantes. So, you know, I was crying this morning. I was really emotional because when I heard that John wanted to come over and sit in my son's room so he could experience what it's like to be Jeremiah, I didn't have it. At that point, I kind of lost it. I was like upset and I got mad. And I was like, you don't need to see him. They have birthday presents for him. And I was like, no. I was like, you guys are damaging him. I was like, you guys are literally making him feel like I don't love him. And your son is in prison. Like, I've never gotten money. I've never gotten child support. I've gotten minimal help when I've literally had to beg his parents for like the smallest amount of help. But oh, that's crazy. I literally stripped to pay the bills when I had kids. I literally stripped for 5 years after my first husband went to prison. I went from being a devout, like, religious, every single Sunday, going to church, going to Bible study, doing all of that. Like, it was a fluke that I got pregnant by that guy, because if I told you the story, which I won't tell you, you'd be like, that there's somebody else. No, there was nobody else. It was like almost It was like a 10-second conception, all right, y'all, I'm telling you. And he didn't even, it was not a thing, okay? It should not have been a thing that happened. It was something that started to happen, then we decided not to. And then I'm pregnant. I don't know how it happened, okay? I felt bad, and I was like, this is, no, you know? And anyway, that was a dude I had tried to date. He's not even in the picture. I don't even know that guy. Never gotten child support from him. Wasn't dating him. I got pregnant. It was an accident. I could understand how you'd be like, oh, so my son goes to prison and then you get pregnant by some other guy. I can understand feeling some type of way. So I understand their position a little bit on how they feel about me. But not when your son did what your son did to me, to my family, and to me. Like, to be completely honest, when Anthony, my ex-husband, harmed my sister, we were separated. I had already left him because he was abusing me. He was at my house trying to pick me up and take me and our son to church that day, trying to tell me that he wanted to work on our marriage. And we were supposed to be going to church with him. That's why he was in the house that day. So I have really bad issues because of it. I have trust issues. I have like all those issues that you saw on the reason I'm doing my blog. All those issues, not all those came from him, but a lot of those did, and a lot of them were made. What is the word? Made more extreme because of him. So, like, I did have some abandonment issues because of my dad. I had some issues, but nothing like what I have now that I'm dealing with every single day to try to... I have nightmares. I have night terrors. All kinds of things. So, to have these people judge me and be so hurtful... I cannot tell you what it does to a mother when you when you don't tell her she's a good mom, and when you're not, like when you're purposely trying to be like, yeah, you suck as a mom. Like, we feel that. We may not say like, what do you think, I suck as a mom? Like, we're not, because we're afraid you're gonna be like, yeah, you do. I do think that. That's kind of been like the elephant in the room, and I finally today like nipped that in the bud on the conversation with my ex-mother-in-law, and I was like, I already know that you think I'm a bad mom. I was like, I already hear the things that my son says when he comes back. And I said, and I've been giving you the benefit of the doubt all these years, just telling myself, oh, I'm sure they said something along maybe like that, but that wasn't as bad as that. But my son's just blowing it out of proportion. I said, but you know what? The fact that John wants to come sit in my son's room to experience what it's like to be Jeremiah. I'm like, you act like I lock this kid up in his room all the time and that's it. And I'm like, that is not it. Yo, my son gets sent to his room because he has oppositional defiance disorder, and I don't like whooping him. I don't like it. I didn't have 4 kids because I like whooping them, okay? That's not why a person has 4 children. I don't enjoy that. Maybe other people, I don't know, I'm thinking in my head now, I'm like, come on, girl, there's some people that have, but not me, okay? So, the fact that they don't have a clue what goes on here, and they just judge like that. Let me just try to make this video, all this rambling nonsense of me just kind of unzipping. I don't know if you've seen the commercial, but just kind of venting. And I told you, I warned y'all. That was on the post. So if you're here, you knew what you came for. You know what? If you know, let me make this worth it. If you know a mother and you think she's struggling, maybe you think she sucks as a mom, see if you could try to help her out. Ask her if she needs a babysitter. If you think, oh, she yells a lot, or oh, she seems stressed out a lot, she seems like, ask her if she needs like a 20. Like, you need a 20? Do you want me to sit here and let your kids like play with my hair while you like go have a minute? Because I'm going to tell you what, I have a lot of people over the 10, 11 years that have been judging me as a mother. All kinds of people around me, in churches, in Bible studies, okay, in small groups, and not the current church I go to now, but churches I've gone to in the past. Part of the reasons that I've left churches, people in my own church judging me, okay, telling me things like, you should stop having kids, you should get on birth control, judging me. Just people just like to think that their opinion about your life matters. Judging me instead of just being like, do you like want me to babysit your, like, just if you have the time to judge, if you care enough to judge somebody, maybe care enough to be a good person and see if they need a sitter. I've babysat a lot of people's kids, and I'm going to tell you, I can name like 2 people that have babysat for me that were good friends of mine that actually watched my kid. Typically, I paid them a lot of money. A lot of money. I paid my own friends a lot of money. There's a time I paid my own mom a lot of money, okay? I don't want to go there because I love my mama. But I'm just so sick of this mom shaming. I'm so sick of the mom shaming. It's played out. Do we not know yet? Do we not know yet how hard it is to have kids? Because if you don't have kids, shut up. If you had kids 25, 35, almost 40 years ago, shut up. You don't know what it's like to have kids today. You don't know what it's like to raise kids today. It is hard. There's a whole extra level of stress. Because back in the day, you could quietly whoop your kids and your kids knew you wasn't playing games. And when you said to do something, you did it. Nowadays, the school will call on you. Everybody will call on you. All your kid has to do is go to school. My mom spanked me and I got a little mark right here on my butt. And you're going to have somebody showing up at your door. So parents ain't whooping their kids. Not like the kids that like people used to get spanked, okay? Because I had welts on my ass and I just knew that I earned that. That was me. I thought about when I saw that welt when I went, shower or whatever, and I saw that on my booty, I was like, yeah, girl, that was real dumb. You knew better. Dang. The world is different. Now kids feel entitled. They feel like we're not allowed to be, like, punished. Like, you gotta, like, ask me nicely if you want me to do something. That kids feel some type of way now, okay? And that type of entitlement is not good for raising a child. I'm just going to tell you, it is not good. We're having to battle that, and it's really hard, okay? And I'm trying to battle. I've always been battling the exes who wanted my son. Like, they were like a long time ago, they were trying to like call and try to get custody of my son because I was a stripper, and they were like, oh, you can't have a kid and be a stripper. They were like, no. Maybe if your son didn't go to jail, I wouldn't have. And I definitely wouldn't have. But I own my own stuff. I own it. That's on me. I don't even put that on him. I know that the circumstances happened the way that they happened and it led to what it led to. But I don't put that on him. I carry that. I just want them to carry what they carried, and letting a 15-year-old girl move into with their 19-year-old son in their house. They facilitated, knowing their son had a record, had a previous record. I didn't know that. They didn't tell me. They didn't tell my mother, oh, you want your 14-year-old, 15-year-old daughter to move in with us? Okay. And like, his mom will be proud, like, I threw your 16th birthday. And I'm like, your son was 20 then. You want to talk about that? I had daddy issues. What's your son's? I already know, and I'm not going to go on live about what his issues were, but I know why he had his issues. It doesn't explain why they, as grown people, let a 15-year-old girl move in with their 19-year-old son. Just saying. I could have been protected. And these people now want to act like I'm a bad mom. And I'm like, ask my kids. I'm so sick of it. I'm so done with it. I'm so done with it. So, yeah. I feel better. I don't know why. I think sometimes you just need to, like, speak your truth. And, like, I had all this guilt and all this shame that I was holding inside. Like, they have a right to treat me this way. And no, they don't. I always want to explain That's part of being abused, is you want to explain to yourself why you deserve to be treated badly. When anybody treats me badly, basically my gut reaction is, well, what did you do, Lauren? What did you do? Why are they treating you that way? Okay, that's something I'm trying to overcome with behavioral therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. Because I know that just because somebody treats me badly doesn't mean I did something to deserve it. And that is something I'm having to learn at 30 years old. Thanks to my dad. But literally, I didn't deserve this today. I didn't deserve for John to want to, and so like I'm trying to like figure it out. Like, why would they think that my son's life is so bad? And it's just because they're bad. Like, they're not bad. I'm not saying they're bad people, but I'm saying they're not wise in what they're seeing. Like, they're choosing to see their son's like reality point of view, and they're trying to make me out to be the bad guy because Anthony gets out of prison in a few years, and I'm making eggs and brunch. So my kids always have like snack food when they wake up, like cereal and like snack food, and then I make brunch at like 10:30, 11. And then we have lunch at like sandwiches and stuff at like 3, and then we have dinner at like 8. I don't know. Does anybody else do that? Anyway, we eat a lot of food around here. We be eating. We hungry hippos over here. So I'm making this. All that pork is going to go in eggs. It's pork chops. Thick, delicious pork chops. So, anyhow, I'm going to make the third one. I think I'm just going to make 2. I feel better. I had to get that off my chest. I had to realize, I had to work through it and just remind myself I'm not the bad guy. I'm doing my best. As a mom, that's all we can do. I love my kids so much. My kids know that. I ask them all the time, do you know how much I love you? And they look at me and they're like, no. And I'm like, to the moon and back. And then we go back and forth, the thing. I love you this far. I love you this far. I love you this far. So my kids they're happy kids. They sing, they dance, they create, they love to make art. If my son was afraid, he wouldn't act up. He wouldn't have painted my garage. He wouldn't break things because he would be scared of what was going to happen to him. Clearly, he's not afraid of what's going to happen to him because he breaks stuff all the time. Just like, I don't know, I just wasn't thinking, sorry. He does it all the time. He's fine. Trust me. He's good. Any encouragement you want to send my way, moms, friends, ladies, I don't have guys on here, so females, any females, if you want to send me encouragement, I will take it today. I usually am not asking for any type of nothing. Usually I just come out to like do this for me. Today, if you want to send me some love, mom love, like that is my like today. The hole in my heart is just like these people, I have let them be in my son's life for 11 years, and instead of being grateful for like getting to be a part of Jeremiah's life, this is how they treat me. And I get to be the bad guy and be like, you can't see them because they're clearly just messaging and like they're doing what my dad did to me, and I gotta nip that in the bud because it was really, 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 really bad for my psyche as a kid to have somebody always tell me that they felt bad for me because my mom was so mean to me, and it was so sad for me. And that's what they do. And I'm like, I realize that, and I'm like, I can't let them do to me what my dad did. And so like they want to come see him, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. That's not going to happen because I know the only thing you guys want to do is try to make yourselves feel good and make me, I don't even understand that. as a grandparent, why don't you just want to see your grandkid? Why do you want to come sit in his room? Like when I was like, you guys can do something out of his room, they're like, well, we really wanted to sit in his room so that we could understand what it's like to be him. And I'm like, what? What? It's okay. Just because they think it doesn't mean it's true. All right, I'm going to post this. It is a lot of rambling, but if you make it through it, I mean, a lot of people are still bored. If you make it through it, there's a reason you made it through. Maybe you got a friend that you know that's like this. Maybe you know somebody that needs, like, let me just tell you this. All moms that you know need, want, and desire to hear from everyone that they know. Thanks, Red Racks. From everyone that they know, that they are a good mother, that you see them. If you know a mother, if you have a friend that's a mother, every mother you know, tell them, good job, I see you. I see how much you love your kids. Tell them. We need to hear that. From our friends, from our family, our cousins, our aunts, our sisters, our brothers, our moms, our dads, everybody. From the teachers, we need to hear that. If you see it, tell a mom, I see you loving your kids. I see you. Tell them. We need to freaking hear it. We cannot hear it enough. It's not said enough. It's the most important job in the world because it is the one job in the entire world that creates every job in the entire world. So if you know a mother, tell her good job because it's underpaid, underappreciated, and undervalued worldwide. So look, I did have a message and a point to this video. I found it. There it is. Thanks, guys.